If you noticed big old smiles on the faces of golf fans today, it's because for the first time in 3 months, they have been able to witness live PGA Tour action. At Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas, they played the opening round of the Charles Schwab Challenge, and they began at 8:46 Central Time with a moment of silence in memory of George Floyd. And once play began, Justin Rose fired out of the gates with a 63, and then just under a couple of hours ago, Harold Varner III, one of 4 black players on the tour, finished up here on 18 with one of the best rounds of his life, carding a 7 under par 63. Varner is your co-leader after 18 holes. Well, yesterday NASCAR announced that Confederate flags would no longer be allowed at racetracks it uses. I reached out to NASCAR officials today for further comment and was referred to the statement from yesterday. And as you would imagine, not everyone took the news so well. Well, Ray Ciccarelli, this man, says he will quit racing after the 2020 season due to the decision to ban Confederate flags. Ciccarelli, who is a part-time truck series driver, said he, quote, could care less about the Confederate flag, but there are people that do, and it doesn't make them a racist. All you are doing is bleeping one group to cater to another, and I ain't spend the money. We are to participate in any political BS, end quote. Ciccarelli, 50 years old, has a grand total of 1 top 10 finish in the last 3 years. Meanwhile, here was Bubba Wallace's special edition Black Lives Matter stock car that he drove in last night's Cup race in Martinsville, Virginia. Wallace, who started 23rd in the field, actually finished just outside the top 10, placing 11th. And although Martin Truex Jr. won the race, it was Wallace whose impact has been felt most over these last few days. Speaking of those making an impact, in the NBA's 74-year history, only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Karl Malone have scored more points than LeBron James. Only Kareem, Bill Russell, and Michael Jordan have won more than James's 4 MVP awards. Yet LeBron's accomplishments off the court may be even more impressive. In addition to his I Promise school in his hometown of Akron, Ohio, and all that he's done for the black youth in this country, LeBron is now funding a nonprofit voting rights group called More Than a Vote. Its mission is to protect black voting rights by shining a spotlight on attempts at voter suppression and to eliminate apathy when it comes to voting in the black community. Fellow NBA All-Star Trae Young, WNBA star Skylar Diggins-Smith, and former NBA player and current ESPN analyst Jalen Rose will also be involved.
What we want people to do is to understand that they have the strength to make changes. Prosecutors, judges, senators, mayors, governors, and definitely the president.
On the court, there is no sophomore rated higher than Mikey Williams. He's a 15-year-old high schooler in San Diego. Now, Williams has received scholarship offers from all the schools you would imagine would go after the nation's top sophomore. But he says he is also considering HBCUs. In fact, he recently said, and I quote, going to an HBCU wouldn't be too bad. If you're a pro, you're a pro. One of the best pros from the last 17 years is Carmelo Anthony, and he said of the possibility that more high school star recruits consider HBCUs, all it takes is one person to change history. It changes college sports because you have a young black kid who is at the top of his game who decided to go to a black university. One such example, Nate Tabor, a 4-star wing player who received offers from Connecticut, Auburn, LSU, and Texas Tech. Tabor originally committed to St. John's, but after a coaching change, he is now committed to play for the Spartans of Norfolk State University and head coach Robert Jones. Well, last night gave us round 1 of the Major League Baseball draft, and the first black player taken was Jordan Walker. The St. Louis Cardinals snapped him up at number 21 overall. He's a 6'5", 220-pound third baseman from Decatur High School in Georgia. Walker was that state's Gatorade Player of the Year after hitting .457 as a senior. In his junior year, he hit .519 with 17 homers. A 3.98 GPA student, Walker verbally committed to attend Duke. Now, Torii Hunter went one spot earlier, 20th overall, back in 1993. He joyfully spent 17 full seasons in the majors. Hunter played his entire career in the American League, which means he played as a visitor in Boston at least 3 times per year. Now, in the last week, the 5-time All-Star said of his experience at Fenway Park, quote, I've been called the N-word in Boston 100 times, so I had a no-trade clause in every contract I ever had. Hunter says reaction to his claims were, quote, he's just a militant. He's lying. This didn't happen, end quote. But the Boston Red Sox tweeted a statement yesterday which began with the sentence, Torii Hunter's experience is real. The team went on to say, if you doubt him because you've never heard it yourself, take it from us, it happens. Last year, there were 7 reported incidents at Fenway Park where fans used racial slurs. Those are just the ones we know about. Fred Laverne, the statement went on to say, it's not only players, it happens to the dedicated black employees who work for us on game days. True change starts from within, and as we identify how we can do better, please know we are listening. We hear you and we believe you. That's good news. This also went from the last couple hours. The Seattle Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll says he regrets not signing Colin Kaepernick in 2017. Visited 3 years ago to Kaepernick. Carroll said they believe Cap was a starter, so he would not be a good fit. Of course, Russell Wilson's the starter now, but that's almost like saying if you're Beyonce's ex-boyfriend, yeah, I mean, I know you're Beyonce, but it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
That's a great analogy. That's brilliant, Anthony, because I was just about to say something like that.
It just seems a little weird. I mean,
yeah.
Quarterbacks are quarterbacks. Quarterbacks get hurt all the time, even though Russell Wilson's been very durable. Why not have someone like that? And it's a very convenient time to be able to
I was just going to say, to come
what?
out now and say that really seems like really bad timing.
Two things. Number one, I think he's going to wind up on a roster someplace, Kaepernick.
So you're saying the NFL will play? There will be a season?
Pick a team. Give me a team.
I can't give you a team
yet.
Give
me a team.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
I got a team in mind. I got a team in mind that might make this work.
But I got to go back to this Red Sox thing. Jim Rice was a great right fielder for them.
Yeah.
The outfield at Fenway Park, he got dog cussed every single game. Was one of the greatest players ever.
One of the greats in franchise history, no question. And if they did that to him, we can imagine what they did to
visiting player?
Yes.
No. Anyway, what team?
When you pick yours, we'll announce it at the same time and see if we're
on simpatico.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Stay with us. Much more BNC Prime News coming up after the break.